Hello and welcome to IPS Engineering Podcast. I am your host, Unogobongo Mngube, and today's episode is very special because we are honoring women in engineering in celebration of Women's Day. We will be having our women that work for IPS come in for a quick interview just to let us know about their journey in engineering, how they actually got into engineering and what they enjoy the most about being women in engineering. I am a process engineer for IPS, which stands for Innovative Processing Solutions, and we specialize in providing services for processing equipment in the dairy and beverage industry. Okay, so I'm down at the engineering workshop and standing next to me is Salbi. Salbi, can you please just elaborate on who you are and your role at IPS?
Hey, I'm a technician at IPS. We service pumps and valves and heat exchangers.
Okay, so Salbi, can you please tell me on what are the positive impacts of having females in this workshop? And how do you think it would be like if they were not there, basically?
Yeah, they are very good at organizing things. Yeah, they are very impactful. Yeah, we enjoy working with them. They light up the room. Like, they are funny, they are nice. They give you relief when you have stress. And they are very helpful when you give them an opportunity. So
okay, so do you think like a diverse, like gender equal working space is more beneficial compared to just having males only? Which one would you prefer?
no, it's okay to have females and males as well because, yeah, they do work, to be honest. Yeah, they do work physically, mentally. Yeah.
And what do you want to say to women this Women's Day?
Don't be afraid. Take the challenge.
Thank you very much, Salbi. Much appreciated. Welcome to IPS Engineering Podcast. I am your host, Nogubongo Mngube, and on today's episode, we will be celebrating women in engineering in honor of Women's Day. So, sitting with me here is our technician, our pump specialist, Okwezi. And I'm just going to allow her to just introduce herself and her role at IPS.
Hello guys, hi, thank you for having me. My name is Kwezikazi Nohaji. I am a technician at IPS. Mostly I am the workshop technician, but we do dabble. I do go on site as well. That's my role at IPS. Next.
So, Kwezi, tell me, what does Women's Day mean to us? To you especially, like?
For me, I would say it's the celebration of the work that women do. It doesn't necessarily mean in the workplace, but also in our everyday lives. You know how I don't think it's easy to bring up a family home. As much as men like to think that they're the heads of the house, I'd like to think otherwise. So women do a lot on a daily basis.
And we need to be celebrated, guys. Mm-hmm. We need to be celebrated for the hard work that we do, the contributions that we have in the society, in bringing up kids. Because we have a lot of single women out there who are doing it on their own, and big ups to them. So it's just a celebration just for us, but specifically the women in engineering. Because I feel as if we are not mostly celebrated as much, and we don't really talk about our challenges a lot. That's why you're here today.
Yes.
To just also tell us and elaborate on your journey as an engineer. What challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome them?
I honestly agree with you fully because in engineering, I find that when you're a woman in engineering, you have to prove yourself times 10 more than men. So whatever it is that men do, you have to do it times 10 and quicker. So just to prove yourself, just to say I belong here also. That's what we face in this industry. And I've came across a lot of like highs and lows. So we'll start with the lows. With the lows, I feel like, especially if you're in a managerial position or a supervisor or just above the other men, I find it's very difficult to communicate with them because you know how men are. They are very dominant and they want to assert themselves a lot. So now when they're getting instructions from a woman, it gets a bit tricky there.
They get intimidated.
Exactly. So I find that you have to try not to be very aggressive and fighting. We have to be more understanding of their, what you call their egos.
Yeah, and their masculinity as well.
Exactly. So you have to repeat yourself more than once. You have to be more patient. You have to be, try to be more relaxed. Okay.
So guys, moving on to our next guest, please help me welcome Mwando.
Thank you very much.
Very nice to have you. Are you good?
Yay, I'm a bit tired, but I'm good.
I literally pulled that out. I was like, girl, I need you here with me right now. But I'm not going to waste any of your time.
Okay.
So can you just please introduce yourself to our viewers and your role at IPS?
Okay, my name is Moana Mukunwende. So it's Women's Month, so I must just say I'm a female. My role at IPS is I am a process engineer. I am a chemical engineer by profession.
Yes.
Right? But I am a process engineer at IPS. And what I do at IPS is I am responsible for the processing side of things. I'm responsible for the hygienic fluid handling components. So in that range, we've got our valves, our pumps, and our heat exchangers. So I'm known as the valve specialist.
Woo!
So anything that has to say valves, you can call me. I'll be at your response. Yeah. So yeah, that's my role at IPS.
Did you hear all of those big words, guys? We are women doing big things. I'm sitting here next to a chemical engineer. And again, reminding you all that we are dominating the engineering space as women. And I'm so very proud. So Moana, what does Women's Day mean to you, basically? We are here celebrating women in engineering. And what just in celebration of Women's Day. So what does Women's Day mean to you?
Yeah, it's a very tough question to ask anybody, I think. But taking it back to how we came about to commemorate the day of Women's Day. Women's Day, to me, it is a reminder that as a female, wherever I am, I've got power. Power, it might not be physically, it might not be, in comparison to the male figure, but it means that my voice, my thoughts, and everything else can be used in a constructive manner, to voice out my opinion in society. It means I matter as a woman, all women matter, and we must be acknowledged and we must be given opportunities to be able to change our surroundings, our communities, and everywhere else that we go. And most importantly, in the engineering space. Yeah.
Just a quick disclaimer, guys. As I did mention earlier, we are shooting at the workshop. So if you hear sounds of a hammer and even a printer, just know that we are at a workplace. Okay, don't mind the sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, Moano. So I know that at IPS, we are very good at diversity, especially the gender equality, you know. So what is your take on that? And how would you advise basically other companies to do what we do, you know? How would you advise them? And by basically elaborating on the positive impact it has had for us as IPS.
Okay, I think today you just, on my case with the difficult questions, but it's okay. When you think of diversity, you are considering, the mixture of genders. I think in this case you're referring to genders.
Yeah.
So everybody knows engineering is associated with males.
Yeah.
So if you come there and you say, I'm a female, I want to be an engineer, already you are disadvantaged.
That's
right?
true.
So in most companies, you do not have diversity in terms of, gender. You would have a male being an engineer and probably the female doing the admin work,
Right.
The soft stuff. So at IPS, they believe in diversity in the sense that I am a female and I'm given the same opportunity that a male is given, and we're not undermined or we're not judged based on our gender. We don't choose, but we've got capabilities as women, and our capabilities are acknowledged, and we are allowed to explore ourselves and find ourselves within the engineering space without being judged or without being reminded that, by the way, you are a female, you are less compared to a man. So IPS really empowers us in the sense that there is diversity, and we are a mixed breed, girls and boys playing around, doing engineering. So yeah, that's IPS.
Yeah, and I think it comes with a great advantage because, as you did say, Guti, we have our different capabilities. Yes. So having a mixture, it actually helps increase productivity than only having masculinity. And who's gonna take care of, the feminine side of everything, Yeah. So having both is actually a great advantage as well. So did you face any challenges as an engineer? Like, tell us about your story. How did you find yourself being a very successful woman in engineering?
The space is not easy. It's very tough.
I can imagine.
Good rough. But I think everything else starts in the mind. You need to just believe in yourself. But obviously you need to know what you want.
True.
And lean towards what you want and believe in yourself. And believing in yourself means you need to have confidence in yourself before you do anything. So engineering for women is, it's rough. Right?
It's not sexy.
And remember, being black, we are disadvantaged.
Already.
So now you can imagine, I am black, I'm disadvantaged, and then I come on top of that, I'm female.
Yeah.
So, double the disadvantage. So you need to find balance for yourself, and you need to ground yourself towards what you want. And usually when you are there, you gravitate towards what you want also. But most importantly, it's very important for you to have somebody who believes in you.
Sure.
Somebody who has faith in you. Somebody who will motivate you and push you towards where you want to go. Right? So challenges will always be there. I've had, a couple of hiccups. On top of me being black, being female, I'm also short. Right?
So many people might look at you and be like, hey.
And of course, the voice is also a little bit squeaky. So probably you're thinking you're speaking to a 15-year-old teen, but believe you me, when you've got knowledge, when you are empowered and you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how you look, where you come from, your gender, your capabilities will speak for you. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to speak and convince people. Do what you do, gravitate towards what you believe in, and everything will be set in place for you.
That's wonderful. That is very inspiring. also me as a process engineer, I did not start my journey as an engineer because of the fears.
Yes.
There were so many fears behind it that, yeah, it's a good career to have as a man, but as a woman, you're not even going to find employment. Hence, I started science route first.
Yeah.
But being exposed to an industry, because I was also working for a food industry, it actually gave me the motivation when I saw women really, taking up space, having an impact there. I was like, I can do this too. Yeah. And it did not stop me. It did not stop me for changing careers and venturing into it. So what advice would you give somebody who will embody the same fears that I had, to avoid them to taking the whole long routes? Just cut the journey short for them and just inspire them to be like, you can do it. It's doable.
Wow. Okay. Now we need to inspire people. Okay, no problem. I think, like I mentioned earlier, you need to know what you want and gravitate towards that. By gravitating, we mean do things that will channel you or that will lead you to where you want to be. It doesn't matter which route you go. Like you said, science, but you knew exactly you wanted to be a process engineer. So whatever that you've been doing from you embarking through science and all that, it led you to where you wanted to be at the end. So my advice is, for some people it will take long. For some people it will take, 2 minutes, I blink and then it happens. But if you know what you want, channel yourself towards that and associate yourself with people. For instance, you can just have a role model who does what you want or who is along the same path that you want to see yourself at the end of the day. And then, all will
work in your favor.
Most definitely. And also, it's okay to be, to walk your own path alone.
True.
You're going to be advised, you're going to have friends who are going to say, let's do this. If that's not what you want, don't do it. Why? Tomorrow you're going to wake up and you realize, I shouldn't have. I wasted my time. If had I gone through what I wanted as an individual, I would have been far. So take space. Just go for it. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But believe you me, there's always people like me who are willing to, just shadow you around what we do and give you, an open insight on what exactly it is that you could come across when you embark on a certain career or on a certain journey. So take up space.
Lead. Don't be afraid to lead. And I'm very excited because I feel like today we have changed the status quo. We are doing a lot of improvements in terms of changing the status quo. If you look back 10 years ago, we were not sitting down and having these conversations, bringing up confidence in young women that it's okay to take up spaces that are male dominant.
Yes.
You just have to be brave enough, but also work as hard enough so that, in most cases you're not undermined, So that's why I really appreciate having this conversation with you today. It was lovely having you.
Likewise, thank you very much, and hopefully you'll get to call me on more of your shows.
Yes, definitely. We want to hear more about basically the products that you deal with in more depths. This is not the first and the last time we're seeing Moana, guys.
Okay.
She's gonna be the resident. Who knows, maybe she'll be in a few seconds she'll be the one interviewing me.
Yeah, I'd like to trade places.
With that said, actually, do you have any questions? It's not an interview if you just sitting there, you just, interviewing. Do you have any other questions maybe you'd want to ask?
I think maybe just, a positive remark. I mean, it's Women's Month and you've got two beautiful women sitting, doing their thing. You mentioned that you're a process engineer and your route was quite, bumpy.
Turbulent.
There is somebody out there who is probably going through the same journey, but they're not aware that, there's a Nogbongwa who's also, who is currently a process engineer, but it wasn't as straightforward or as easy as they would have wanted. What words of motivation would you give, youngsters? Women especially, but we're not gonna cut out the guys, right?
Yeah.
What words of motivation would you give such an individual or such individuals who are sitting at home, probably watching and
they're now inspired to be engineers?
Yeah.
Okay. What I would say to young people is that don't allow yourself to be defined by one thing. Our bodies change. Our minds change. Don't be afraid of change. You cannot be defined by one thing. We have complex minds, and you have to allow yourself to exercise that complex mind that you have. You are able to do everything. So it starts with your mind. I was in science, and I wasn't afraid to take the step to venture into engineering. It was hard. I had no background. I went straight into postgraduates. It was very hard, but I had a vision and I knew where I wanted to go. And I knew that I have the most important organ and I need to exercise it. I need to use it. The more you use it, the better it is, guys. Do never limit yourself. That's what I can just advise them. Never limit yourself to a certain career. We grow, as Black people, we grew up in a society where our parents only did one thing for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because we did not know that it's possible to be multiple things at the same time. We need to change the status quo. It is possible.
Yes.
It is possible. You can have a 9 to 5 while you have your business at a side. We have complex minds. Exercise it to your best ability. Also, information is available everywhere. Join those platforms. Join LinkedIn. Find that person that has done it before and reach out to them. Ask them, hey, I'm struggling with this career because I chose a career at the age of 16 or at 18 when I left high school. Now I feel like I'm a different person. How do I navigate? There are so many people who have had career changes. You just need to go there and look for answers as to how do I channel myself? How do I get there? And it's possible. It's very much possible.
All right. Lastly, from my side, what are we doing tomorrow?
Actually, the weekend has started, guys.
Most definitely. I think I saw them doing some braai outside, right?
Yeah, actually. I think let's go there. Let's take some footage and just call it a wrap. Thank you very much, Moana. It was lovely having you.
Thank you for having me too.
Moore is our next guest, and she is also a woman in engineering. How inspiring. So, Tepo, can you please tell me about yourself and your role at IPS?
Thanks for the opportunity. As you said, my name is Tebo. My role here at IPS, I'm an apprentice. The trade that I'm doing is electrical.
Oh, nice. So, what inspired you to venture into electrical engineering? I mean, it is a very male-dominated space, and what motivated you?
I think maybe the background that I had when I was growing as a kid. Okay. And then later in that stage when I decided to go into engineering, that's when I just researched about all the departments that we have in engineering, and then that's when I chose electrical.
And are you enjoying it so far? Is it what you expected?
You wouldn't say it's what you expect, because I think the more you have expectations, then the more you get disappointed. So just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I think
great.
in that way, that's when you have a room to learn new things as well, because now we learn every day in this industry.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So, and then what piece of advice would you give somebody like a young person who really wants to get into engineering, specifically also electrical engineering, but they have that uncle who keeps on telling them that you cannot. There's no way. I don't see it.
No. And now remember, engineering, like you said, it's a male-dominated industry. So with us, as a woman, I think we already have lost that 40% in engineering, because now, remember, they have this thing that our room is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So an advice that I will give to a young lady out there who wants to go into engineering, I think firstly, acquire knowledge, because I believe that knowledge boosts confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Because and when you know, you can actually stand on what you believe in. So acquire knowledge as much as you can, do research, and then don't break down easily, because now this is
It's a tough place, hey?
yes, so
you need to grow hot skin.
you must always have your head held up high. If they say spanner, you must.
Yes.
Don't look at yourself. Maybe, I don't know, but don't ever look at yourself as a woman in this world. Just have your own confidence. Have your own knowledge. Knowledge is the key.
Okay, that's very beautiful. Thank you very much, Sepo. That brings us to the end of our interview.
Thank you, Dr. Bonga.